here, I did not take a donkey or a horse. I took a plane. This plane needs energy, right? We're in the room, we have very nice AC. This AC, to make it running, we need energy. Before I forgot, I need to apologize for my language. I'm a French speaker, right? I'm not an English speaker native. I hope you are catching my word, right? Very good. I like when the room is like that. I forgot. Akwaba, Ghana. Okay? No, I'm not hearing. Akwaba. Good. I was in Nigeria 2 weeks ago when I say, Ekabo, people, we have a lot of energy. But let me restart again. Usually I know that Ghanaians are better than Nigerians, right? Okay, now we are there. So let me start again. Akwaba, Ghana. Yeah, now we are starting, right? Okay, next slide. What is the energy landscape today? I start saying that we are 1.4 billion today, right? But yesterday I was in Ivory Coast, today I'm in Ghana. I'm sure if I'm calling someone in Nigeria, will tell me that it's very hot, right? So let me add one point. I will not talk about oil and gas, I will talk about cocoa. Ivory Coast and Ghana, they are the two first producers of cocoa in the world, right? But who can tell me what is the dynamic of the cocoa market today? The price is rising, right? Reaching 10,000 pounds, $10,000 per ton, right? In the loan market. Why? Why? Who has some idea? El Nino, right? Because the climate is changing. I have some friend working in Barry Callebaut. They are telling me that their factory is working at 50% of their capacity. Why we are having this change? It's because the climate is changing. The climate is affecting our life, right? In the same time, we need energy. We don't want to change our lifestyle. Personally, I don't want to change my lifestyle. And at the same time, I'm the proud dad of two young ladies. One is 12 years old, another one is 7 years old. And I think in 30 years, they want to enjoy life like me. This brings a challenge, right? How could we bring more energy, decarbonize, which energy will not have any effect on our society, right? Who is presenting this slide, please? I'm not seeing the slide. Okay, so let's continue. So we want to keep our way of living with energy, but this can be done at all costs. That brings the care. Energy today need to care. The first C need to be clean, right? The second one need to be affordable. If I want the energy, I cannot get it at all costs, really. My uncle in my village needs energy, but he doesn't have a lot of money to pay it, right? The third one is the R, right? Okay. Oh, good. Okay, let's stop there. It's working. Let's move it. Kiss it. We leave it. It needs to be reliable. When I need energy, I need to have it. I switch a bottom, I need to have it, right? And the E needs to be equitable. Yes, the climate is changing, but the fault is not on African, because since the industrial revolution, Africa has caused just 2% of all the greenhouse we have there, right? And the S needs to be sustainable. We need to have the energy without affecting. And I'm adding a last S, which is secure, right? Your neighbor can have energy, but if the next morning both of you are not in the same page, you won't have it, right? This is the dilemma we have in Africa, right? And all the opportunity that the energy sector will have, and how you guys can put yourself to get all this opportunity. Can we go on the next slide, please? Okay, next one. So, the energy sector is what? What is energy? We have different things. If you take the oil and gas industry, we have the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream. But energy is not just this. Yes, from the moment we produce the energy until the final usage, these are different stakeholders on the way. We have a production, we have a distribution, we have a transport, right? In all these places, you have some opportunity where you can have some job. So you can be an engineer, petroleum engineer. You can decide to work in the upstream. Some of them can work in the midstream. Some of them can work in the downstream. You have different things, but this is on the operational side. We have another thing. You can be policymaker. You can work for government, right? But at the end, you need to have the right fundamentals, the right grounds. But I've told you that we have a dilemma. We need to have energy, but we have other sources of energy, which are all the renewable energy. We have hydrogen. We have a geothermal. I know in Ghana, I'm not sure if in Ghana we have geothermal, but definitely in Kenya we have, right? And we as SLB, we are part of this. We have geothermal in Australia, and we have as well the carbon capture. Yes, we have a lot of carbon on the top, but this carbon can be used for different things, right? We need to use this, and we have a hydrogen. 2 weeks ago, I was in Kampala, and I met someone who is working on the hydrogen project, and I asked her a question. Where do we stand on the hydrogen? She told me, we have a lot to discover, but if we manage to get it, this will bring a lot of solution on the greenhouse gas we have now. So these are something in Africa, definitely we are not working on it. As SLB, we are working on it on our different product center, and these are the type of thing the type of door we can close, because the mixed energy we have to use the oil and gas, which at date it's the cheapest way, but we need as well to use the renewable energy. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so as an organization, as SLB, we are working, and most of our customers are doing, but I'm talking on behalf of my company. Definitively, we are adopting a sustainable business model in everything we are doing. The way we operate division, right? The way we are working before, it's not a sustainable way to do. I can take an example, flaring. When we are part of operation, we have brought some solution to our customer which eliminate all the flaring. We are providing innovative solution, right? Before, we used to drill several wells on the same field. This is not needed today. By put all the division together, the oil well, we can help them to produce more. If you are drilling less, you are minimizing the amount of water, the amount of chemical, you are minimizing your footprint on the atmosphere. So we need as well for the transition, the energy transition, we need some key technology, right? We are not saying that at date we have everything, but we are working together with our different division, our different center of research development to find solution on this. And the last point is, let's say, we cannot just work on a single silo. If you work the way, we need to scale all these solutions, because by scaling them, everyone will use this approach, and like that we can have an impact on decreasing all these gas, right? Let's go to the next step. Who are we as SLB? Definitively, I'm sure yesterday Julia started. We are a global technology company. Previously, we were Schlumberger. Schlumberger known as a large service provider in oil and gas energy. And we decided in 2022 to become SLB. Why? For a reason. We cannot just be operating only in oil and gas. It's not only the one solution. And we decide as well to be a big player on the energy transition, right? Because we need to innovate on this energy. We cannot use the technology of last century and continue working and continue having and impacting the planet. And we need to have a balanced planet, right? The planet is the gift we receive from our fathers. We need to deliver the same planet to our kids, to the next generation. And it's, how to say, it's a job for each person, for each organization to embrace it on our day-to-day operation. The way we are working, the way we are delivering service, the way we are hiring, right? Diversity, inclusion. The planet cannot be balanced if between male and woman, male and female, we are not balanced, right? In the way of we are approaching the different situations in the world. Can we go on the next slide, please? What we do as a company, the four actions, the four directions we are working as a company today. We continue to innovate in oil and gas because we did not leave oil and gas, right? For decades, oil and gas will be the solution. But we need oil and gas decarbonized, right? We need oil and gas decarbonized. We are using now digital. Digital is the way we are operating in all of our operation, all of our division. Digital is something it's put in the cornerstone, and we use it for our different activity. The new energy system, geothermal, lithium, hydrogen, we are trying to scale it as much as we can. For example, our product center in France named Clamart, we use geothermal to heat it during winter and to cool it during summer. This is something we are doing. We are engaging in different places on the planet, in Italy, in the US, in Australia. Not yet in Africa, but we are coming. Next slide, please. So, oil and gas remain our core. Digital is the second aspect, and we are trying to scale the new energy. Next slide, please. We have 4 divisions. Production system, reservoir performance, and well construction. And at the end, the last one, the digital. Digital is something coming from the top part of the organization. It's something we need to embrace in our day-to-day activities, right? Go to the next one. I've talked about new energy. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. What are the opportunities as career opportunities? Definitely, we have a field role, which are in years, we see where we are working, but we are bringing some reservoir engineer, some petrophysicists, some process engineer, some petrotechnical expert. As I say, there are some policy maker where you have opportunity. Research scientists, right, and data science, because we are entering, or we are in the world of data, right? So as a company, and I forgot, we have project manager for some of our key people, right? These are where, as an organization, you have some opportunity you can apply, and you can see yourself in those roles. So you go in our career portal, www.slb.com/careers, and you have any position you can apply. Most of the application will come to me, to my team, and we look at. You'll be called for interview, for test. And then you can go to the next slide, please. What are the skills you need? Definitely your core skill. Your core skill is what you have learned in your university or in your secondary school. The fundamentals you have, right? Usually when I'm inviting people for tests, or when my colleagues recruiters are inviting people for tests, they are asking, what will you ask us? I'm saying that what you have learned since you went to school, since your day. If you are coming to me, you say, I'm an engineer. An engineer, doesn't matter the type of engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, petroleum engineer, you have the fundamentals, the basic mathematics, the basic physics, because as an organization, we want to hire you and train you. This is what we are doing since 1 century. Your digital skills, your analytical skills. To summarize, I like saying that we are looking for people who are well put together, logical, able to have a discussion. We are a service company to start. We are selling service to customers. We need to have people who are able to take any type of situation. explain from A to Z to the customer. I'm not saying that in our life is perfect. In my career as a field engineer, later on as a manager, there were some nights, there were some days, my life was miserable. I was saying, what am I doing here, right? But sometimes you sit, you think the situation, and you present it to the customer. Sometimes the customer is not happy to listen, but there is one thing customer will always praise you for this, your integrity. When there is a situation, you come, you explain, I have this problem, A, B, C, D. These are the solutions. Let's think together, because at the end, you want the customer you want to deliver the service to the customer, and the customer will respect you for this. Your innovative skills, we are looking for this. I've started telling you that the African junior, the world are facing the problem of climate. We need all the brain to find the solution. Doesn't matter where you are from deep part of Ghana, from deep part of Nigeria, from deep part of Angola. What we are looking for is the good idea. What makes you a special person, you will come and help us. We are not saying as an organization we have a solution. We are saying that by giving chance, one will solve it. I've started my career in Southeast Asia, right? I never thought that as an African boy I'd be hired one day and be sent to Myanmar. I know Myanmar in my books at that time, because now it's my phone, right? But SLB give me this opportunity. You should be one of a person, but you need to believe on this. How you have been working, how you have been preparing yourself. Important. How you present yourself. You show above your personality, you are bringing the flag of one country. Maybe Ghana, maybe Nigeria. In my case, Ivory Coast. But on top of this, you are bringing the Africa flag. Because sometimes when we are seeing that, we are not seeing a nationality, we are seeing someone from Africa, right? So, let me ask you a question. Do you know that by 2035, Africa will be the continent with the most talented person with the skills? 2035. You can be one of the person there, but you need to start preparing yourself from today through three things. First thing is your character. What is your character? Your character is you as a personality, your behavior. I don't know any organization which will take someone with the wrong character, with the wrong behavior, saying that because he's good in petroleum, he's the best one in the petroleum engineering, I will hire him, even I know that his attitude is a bit questionable, right? You need to work on this. The second is your discipline. Discipline for time, for example, it's something which is part. I know I did not start well by coming late, right? But discipline for time, being on time, right? You shouldn't be known for something, right? If you commit on something, you make it. You put away the culture excuse, right? Why this is not done? Because I was sick. Yes, you can be sick. 1, 2 times, 3 times. Why this is not done? Because X, Y, Z. Please note, there is always a reason not to do things properly. There is always a reason not to do things properly. But is all the reason okay to be delivered? And sometimes you like saying luck. When we say I'm lucky, is when you work hard and the opportunities, right? As I'm in face of very big scientific, if you do a multiplication, 0 times something equal, okay. You work hard. Working hard, you are 2,000. But the opportunity is 0. Luck equal? You work hard. Work is at 20,000, but the opportunity is 0.0001. Luck is equal something. This is what you need to target, right? You say, I was lucky I met the guy. Sometimes the person will give you maybe 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, he has an idea who you are, right? Don't miss this opportunity. Don't give unnecessary excuse. Sometimes they are not asking you anything. Don't say anything, right? When they ask you, calibrate your word, deliver the speech, the guy will give you time, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes to listen for you. And then when he gives you these 30 minutes, you need to come well prepared. You need to say that, to think that you're in the jungle, you have only one bullet. In front of you, you have a lion. The recruiter is not the lion, huh? Don't shoot me. And then you come, you target it, right? And the last thing is you need to upskill yourself, right? Every time you have an opportunity to learn something, learn it. Maybe you're a petroleum engineer, learn something else. But for everyone, try to have some culture. If you aspire to work on the petroleum in oil and gas industry, try to follow the news in oil and gas industry. Try to have some knowledge in other industry, right? Take your time to have some culture, know the environment, know the landscape of the oil and gas, know the story of your country, because when you are going on interview, sometimes we are not spending time to discuss how you compute the power of this or this or this. We want to see that if you are a teachable person, right? We want to see that if I give him responsibility, he will be able to deliver. So they gave me 20 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm there, but I would like to thank you for your time. These are my simple speech, and I hope I've inspired some people. And as an SLB, we are looking for the best CVs. We are looking as well for the most suitable candidate. The most suitable candidate will be the one who will be using his character, his discipline, upskill himself, and definitely will have an opportunity for him. And let's be balanced planet for him and her. As I like saying that, I'm thinking that Africa will continue being bigger and better, and we count on all of us every day in our day-to-day task to achieve this goal. So together, let's commit for this. Let's decide that we'll do everything we need on our small level, and there is no way that we won't succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jean. So as Jean mentioned, we have the character, the discipline, and the skill, CDS. Okay, so now we have that part as hard work. The multiplying factor, that is the opportunities he talked about. Even if it's 0.001, we still need it, don't we? So as young professionals, we are going to move to the next section of how we can identify that opportunity wherever we find ourselves. And we are going to move into the panel discussion. Our theme is how we can create opportunities for young professionals in the changing energy landscape. And to help us to moderate, we have Engineer Okiogene Omulabi. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes.
Thank you very much, everyone, and good afternoon to you. So we are going into a very interesting session, and that's the panel session for the African YP workshop. I've been introduced. Omoluabi Okeogene is my name, Senior Production Operator with the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas. Yeah, so we have a lineup of very esteemed and distinguished panelists today who will be taking us through the session, very experienced and knowledgeable. First on my list is Omer Taher. Apologies if I have not mentioned that name correctly. Okay. He's the regional manager for Ware Construction, Hunting Energy Service. Has 18 years of collective experience working for Weatherford and Hunting Energy Service. As regional manager of this company, he covers the Middle East, Africa, and the CIS region. He's the current chairperson for Northern Emirates section. You're welcome, sir. Next on the list is Frediat Nya Malo. Welcome, madam. Business Development Manager for Halliburton, Ghana. She has expertise in commercial and technical aspects of upstream oil and gas business. She also covers Ghana, Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, and she's a board member, SP Ghana. Welcome, madam. Okay, next we have another distinguished panelist, and that's Priscilla Ewere. You're welcome, madam, all the way from Nigeria. She boasts of 14 years experience as a highly skilled, value-driven, and award-winning well engineer, works with Shell, and she has key experience working with Oando Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited, Rano Akrit Petroleum Development Company. She's the Lagos Section Director for SP. Welcome, madam. And the last but not the least is Engineer Gilbert Asase. Engineer Gilbert Asase, you're welcome, sir. He's the CEO of Joint Creek Asset Integrity Management Limited, 14 years multidisciplinary experience in the industry. He's a versatile petroleum engineer, having worked with the Petroleum Commission Ghana. He was also the local content manager at Eka Energy Ghana. You're welcome, SARS and Maz. I think this is a very balanced one based on diversity and inclusion. Yeah, we're glad to see you, and we look forward to a very interesting session. The topic is going to be very engaging and lit. I'd like us to prepare ourselves, pull out be a lot to learn. So the panel theme, like we all know, is innovating the African oil and gas industry, creating opportunities for young professionals in a changing energy landscape. We all agree that we have a booming youthful population of 70% under age 30 in Africa. We have abundance of natural resources under our feet. Over 125 billion barrels of proven reserve crude, over 600 trillion cubic feet of gas. Africa is truly the bride of the world as we speak. But we also have a myriad of challenges, and they include those that come around energy transition, if you like, call it energy addition, funding investment, technology issues, who owns technology, and, in quote, an immature market. Then we must be ready to innovate the energy space, and that's what we'll be dwelling on today. How do we get those opportunities, lash on them so that we can innovate the energy space? Again, with the very interesting figures we have just quoted, we also know that almost half of the African population does not have access to electricity. A lot more have access to just epileptic electricity. I'm prepping our minds towards what we are going to have today. Necessity, they say, is the mother of innovation, right? Yeah, it became overtly necessary to innovate this sector over 100 years ago, over a century ago. The next best time to innovate is now. Thankfully, innovation is not a one-stop thing. It is a continuous process. So guys, let's get ready for this ride. I'll start with Taher. And my first question to you is this. With the increasing focus on sustainability and environmental responsibility, what are some innovative approaches that young professionals can learn from and apply to thrive in the energy future, the evolving energy future?
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, Akwaaba as well. This is my first ever trip to West Africa and Ghana, so I'm really enjoying it. And I'm very pleased to see how sections are quite gelled over here, and hopefully we'll do similar things in MENA region as well. So coming to the question, my role in hunting, is that my phone or? Okay, right now it's still bearable, so I'll carry on. So my role in Hunting Energy Services allows me to travel the world. I handle global projects for all the energy sources, I would say, at the moment. And energy mix is going to change. We have all this huge debate globally going on for many years now. Fossil fuel, geothermal, CCS, all of those things. But as John mentioned, population not only in Africa, globally is going to increase, right? So everyone is going to need electricity and energy. So the mix might change, but all of these things come into play, nuclear, geothermal. So coming back to your question is, even if you hear a lot of green, alternate, renewable, don't think that fossil fuel or conventional oil and gas is going away. But the focus is going to change. Capital markets are changing. The money is going to flow towards more into renewable and alternate and might not go into conventional drilling. But there are avenues which you can master your skills at. Artificial intelligence, machine learning. I penciled down a few of them so that I don't forget. So these days, everything is being looked at on the carbon footprint of even flying here, how much is our carbon footprint, right? So any new SP event you go, they would like to say they are offsetting the carbon footprint of this event by planting a couple of trees here. So carbon footprint side of business that you should look at. There are digitalization or apps coming into the market. Some of my friends are actually developing. They have no association with fossil fuel or petroleum industry. They are based in Silicon Valley in California. But all they're doing is talking to their friends in petroleum engineering and asking like, where are the gaps? What can we do? And some of my friends are telling them either in service industry or E&P companies that we would wish to have something of this sort on an application, right? So they are patenting those applications. They are very cheap as well to start with, but their ambitions is to sell it to likes of Shell, Aramco, Chevrons. So those are the areas where you guys can focus, or the young professionals can focus. And predictive machine learning, predictive maintenance is coming into the play. I met a couple of senior executives who have totally switched from conventional, and now they're developing solutions for E&P companies and even likes of SLB and service firm. They're also focusing on that side of business. So big E&P companies are being given solutions where you can sit in your room or office and you can actually look to the point of even analyzing your ESP pump or artificial lift system, and you can tweak your production from that field, well by well, completion by completion, and even formation-wise. So there are many avenues, I would say, for young professionals to look at. Nothing to be scared of. It doesn't matter what you hear on the news. Green, alternate, we are still going to be there for decades to come. Your next generations are going to be there. And keep learning. I would say there's a lot you can go after. I would stop here now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, let's applaud him. Thank you very much, Taye. Wonderful one. So in spite of the fact that we have all of the talks on TV and in the news, don't get scared. The fossil fuel industry is still here. And there are a lot of opportunities, like you mentioned, around AI, CCUS, carbon footprint digitalization, predictive machine learning, and a whole lot of others. So get your hands on those things, and I believe that we'll thrive together as African young professionals. So that takes me to the next question, actually, and that will be to Madam Fredias. So Tahe just mentioned those opportunities that exist. What advice would you give to young professionals who are aspiring to make meaningful impacts in the industry across the line of opportunities that Tahe just mentioned, and who are aspiring to drive innovation in this industry? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope we can share with you what your heart needs to hear. So what advice do I have for young professionals? I'll put them in 3 buckets. So my first bucket will be to build core skills. My second bucket will be for us to be guided. And my third bucket will be for us to be relevant and visible. I still say us because I still count myself as a YP. So number 1, build core skills. There are certain skills, and I'll name them, the ability to acquire knowledge, the ability to solve problems, the ability to innovate or be creative, and the ability to collaborate. When you have these four, you are able to innovate, and not just innovate, but make these innovations that impact not just your community, but the world at large. So we've spoken about AI, we've spoken about all of these things, but there are certain skills which I have mentioned. So let me put them in perspective. You have the ability to learn, so you start learning about AI or data analytics. You have the ability to solve problems, so you're looking at what a problem is around you, or what kind of problem is around you, and then you're using the knowledge to solve a problem. Then you are also having the ability now to collaborate. So you work with other people in a creative and innovative manner. And then now, that idea that you have is a solution that is scalable and is making money. So we don't just sit and put ideas on paper, but we apply these core skills. That's number one. Number two, let's be guided. Let's find people who have done it before. And it's great that we are in SPE. It's an advantage for us. We have people who have done it in the space of geothermal energy, the space of oil and gas, so many spheres of life. Find them, get mentored, get guided. Tell them what your dream is and let them help you. And then thirdly, I think I said the third one was be relevant and be visible. What you're doing in your corner, what you are innovating as a young professional, nobody will know about it till you are visible, until that thing becomes relevant to other people. Speak up, show up, take opportunities, volunteer. Let people know that this is what you're doing, this is what you're creating, else it's only in your corner. Now let me tell you the beauty about these three things. They are not things that you need to go far to develop. In your day-to-day task, you can build core skills. In your day-to-day task, you can always look relevant and be visible. And in your day-to-day task, you can always find somebody, because of how hardworking you are or how much you've become visible and relevant, to guide you and to mentor you. So if you ask me my advice, those are the three buckets.
Yes, I was expecting that. Thank you very much, Mada. So that came out very clear. Build core skills. The second one, you said we should be guided and mentored, very key. And also, we should be relevantly visible. Thank you very much, Madam. So that takes us to the next question, and that will be for Madam Priscilla. Yes, so we've talked about opportunities. We'd like you to speak to how we can navigate these opportunities effectively. And if you wish to also add some other opportunities to what has been talked about already, we would like to hear that from you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, SPE Ghana, for organizing this and for the opportunity to be here to talk to the YPs. So the previous two panelists have said a lot of the points I had noticed. I'm not going to dwell much on that. The only thing I would like to highlight is that the industry today is competing for talents with other industries, for service providers, individuals, professionals that can drive digital technologies. Right now, that talent is scarce. Right. In addition, we're all driving towards the energy transition. So there's a drive to swap or for alternatives to oil and gas to deliver products that are more environmentally friendly. Right. So products like plastic, making plastics from renewable and biodegradable materials, utilization of hydrogen or biofuels for transportation or even to run machineries. So the opportunities do exist. These are areas where young professionals, YPs, can apply themselves and deliver value. The only thing I'll add to the thing that Frida just said was, think sustainability. Companies these days are looking for young professionals that can propose sustainable practices, develop technology, as well as upgrade business models. What John said, one of the ways, and I noted that for optimizing the transition, one of them was scalable model and sustainable models. So whatever you're doing, think sustainability. How are you building? How are you learning? how are you scaling up, reskilling? Who are your mentors? Who are you talking to? How are you collaborating? These are the things that you need to think about. It's okay to be the smartest person in the room, but you have to learn from someone. And also get the support. You can have an idea, but if you do not have the right support to adopt that idea, implement it and bring it to life, then it's as useless as you first thought it. So who is your support system? How are you nurturing the relationships that you have today? How are you networking and building your relationship? Yes, technical skill is important, but soft skill is the one that will take you there. Thank you very much.
Much thanks a lot. Who is your support system? And how are you getting on with that? How are you getting the necessary support and mentorship? Thank you. That came out loud and clear as well. Yeah, my next question will be going to Engineer Gilbert Asase. We see that you are a CEO, so I'll be directing this question to you, sir. What business models must African young professionals employ to perform outstandingly and attract more investment into innovation in Africa's energy industry?
Okay, thank you. So I'll take it from this point in the space of innovation and put it on the main word, embrace change. Okay? Any business model that any young African professional wants to access, can it be scalable? First of all, the business should be scalable. There's also sustainability. Then we can actually talk about innovation. Now let me draw it down a little bit. In the world that we currently live in, and it took Netflix about 4 years and 11 months. It took ChatGPT 5 days to reach 1 million users. So we are already in a very disruptive world. So when you start building a business model, we must build it around the environment we live in, okay? So I'll now come down practically. And I'll use an example of what I do. If you are providing non-destructive testing or inspection and maintenance, as we have, it is about sending technicians to test. However, the business, our clients, are now asking for predictive maintenance. We've not even finished inspecting. Now, you are asking me to gather your data in the platform and add AI to be what? To be able to what? Use it to predict your maintenance schedule. So, for you to be able to be relevant in the market, you need to be able to think of today and think about the future. The next thing is, one of the biggest problems, I don't want to be controversial, but it's about access to financing. In the current landscape that we have, oil and gas, unfortunately, it is now being tagged the dirty energy source. So if you are having a business model, one of the few things you can look at is tweak it to meet the requirements of sustainability or the SDG goals. Okay? Do you have a good running system? Do you have, as a business provider, are you meeting in your organization? If you're able to meet some of this, then it gives you the ability to have access to financing, to be able to what? To support the business that you are doing. So the long and short is, be able to look at what is now to provide a service and be relevant, but you should be able to look at what the future needs and input it into your model. Thank you.
So is it scalable? Is it sustainable? Your business models should be around these items. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we really don't have much time, so we'll be running through the remaining questions as quickly as possible. We'd also give opportunities to us. You can note your questions down, just a few of them, and I believe our speakers would provide answers to them. So I come back to you, Taher. Yeah, so the question I have for you is this. Which funding or financing avenues should be in place to drive innovation in the Africa energy industry? Because we identify funding as a major challenge going into the evolving energy landscape. So what advice would you give for the funding and financing options that we have for the
I'll keep it quick as well so that we can answer most of the questions. So I haven't looked at the models in Africa myself, this is my first trip, as I'm saying, but I'll tell you what's happening in the rest of the world. And again, you need to have support from governments, from E&P companies, academia. For example, in Middle East, what happens is E&P companies launch their challenges, right? Like this is what we are struggling with, whether it's in water coning on one well or it's on downstream side, whatever. And then they invite companies and young professionals to come up and pitch their solutions, right? And if anything goes through the ladder and gets selected, that technology gets funded. And similarly, in North America, you have subsidies and government actually invest with you for a disruptive or innovative idea. And every big company also has, this is one thing which I believe should be relevant to you guys because a lot of those E&P companies are active here. For example, Shell Game Changer Technology, Chevron has a platform. If you have something interesting, you can easily reach out to those teams, whether based here or in Europe. I know a couple of them in US itself. So you pitch your idea, and if it makes sense to them, they will invite you over, and they would ask you right away numbers like, and they don't even want to own the technology or your idea. If they buy like a couple of them, I'm working on myself with Shell. One is with Shell, one is with Chevron. They are funding the testing as well. And once it's approved, they don't want to keep it. They're like, okay, take it out and give it forums, which you can pursue. And another one which I can mention to you is, I don't know about this part again, but in Middle East, for example, in Doha, Qatar, there are events which are called Web Summit or Shark Tanks. So those are startup villages or platforms where you can go, and it's not expensive or too pricey to take part in. And you can showcase your disruptive idea or technology. And many people from around the world do attend those events. Basically, people with deep pockets would come who wants to invest. And something, if it's scalable and they can make money out of, they would definitely shake hand with you and fund your project. Thank you.
So there are organizations out there who are ready to support. So just get your idea very formidable and get across to them, pitch the idea to them, and hopefully you would scale through as young professionals. Thank you very much, Taher. Yeah, so Madam, to you, I'd like to ask you a question on diversity and inclusion. And this is my question. How can diversity and inclusion initiatives be integrated into the recruitment and retention strategies of oil and gas companies operating in Africa to create a more inclusive workforce for young professionals?
Thank you. I always smile when I get this question because beyond being female, it's a question that I believe I've lived through and I'm still living through. So sharing my perspective on it is exciting for me. So you said recruitment and then retention. So let me talk about recruitment. For HR personnel, for leaders in a lot of companies, the focus is increase the pipeline universities, give us more women, and then we will, create enough opportunity, pick out the really good ones, and then we'll add them to the industry. That's all well and good. But then there's also the lack of visibility to that pipeline. And I'll share a story with you and make the point. I met a lady who said to me, thank you so much for for what you've done for me. And I didn't understand. And she made me understand that I went to her school. And bear in mind, I was maybe 2 years in oil and gas. I had just, started trying to understand. But I went to her school on a career day. And I said, oh, engineering is engineering. It's as tough as any other field. You just need to be passionate about it. I didn't know that this will inspire her enough to change her mind from becoming a medical doctor to actually becoming an engineer. She said she was scared. She thought it was for men only. And so she only wanted to do that. So even if we are increasing the pipeline and we are not showing the ladies that it is possible, there are people who are in the C-suite. There are people who are, causing change, impacting the industry, even though they are female, and even more because they are female, then we are not letting them know. And so they are not coming in. So for recruitment, that's very important. And then let me go to retention. Retention. Can I speak to the leaders in the house? And I'm speaking to anyone who is a supervisor, anyone who is, I'm not just talking to the managers. Please hold our hand. Some of us were given opportunity. And that opportunity was not just someone. They said we were good for things that ordinarily they wouldn't pick us for. Challenge us. And when you challenge us, please let us know we can do it. And guide us if you can. I think that's one thing that will help with retention. Number 2, please make it easy for us to come back after we give birth. I know people don't go there, but please make it easy. There are very little things you can do. We will come back. You need us. That's my brother right there. Make it easy for us. Let me move on. And then let me talk to the ladies now. If they give us the opportunity and we don't shine, it's easy for them to look elsewhere. And I'm saying them as in leaders, whether male leader or female leader. If your boss says, do this, try this, and they are trying you and you know it, please excel. The first time I was giving a project engineering role, it was crazy because I had never done it. And to me, it was for somebody who was like 8 years in the industry. And I was only 3 years. But I told myself I will challenge myself and I will do it. Next thing I knew, I was a project manager. I'm just saying that if we take the chair, no one will take it from us. But if we are looking at the chair and hoping that somebody will push us into the chair, look, the guy right by you, his leg is already in front of the chair. So don't wait for it. So that's what I will say. The onus is on everyone, on policymakers, on leaders, especially as women. Diversity and inclusion is helping us, but we need to help ourselves some more.
Thank you. Don't wait to be given the chair because some other guys are around to take the chair from you. Thank you very much, madam. So we are going to be rounding up in a few minutes, and I believe this may be the last set of questions, actually. So I'll come to you, Priscilla. And this is around government policies and regulations. What role do government policies and regulations play in shaping the opportunities available to young professionals in the industry? And how can they advocate for policies that support innovation and goods? Any examples that you have you can share with us?
Thank you very much. In my view, the growth of our energy industry has been hampered by like regulatory requirements, cost-effective system integration, capacity, and while traditional policies has helped to create the best practices that we have today, policymakers are having to innovate extra to be able to keep up with the changing and competitive energy markets. So there's a lot of work to be done because traditional policies no longer cut it. To scale up, policies have to be holistic, right? They have to demonstrate that they are in tune with the energy demand of the future and that young professionals are part of this transition, this energy future. Because, in my view, the future...
Okay. Is there a skills gap? Yes, there is a skills gap. But we can look at it differently. If you are a young professional and you get out of school, no matter what the education you get, we spoke about the gap between the school and industry. Even if we close that gap so much, you still need to learn on the job. You will need mentorship. I am a beneficiary of mentorship in different forms. So I'll take it to two ways. As a young professional, you need to be willing to embrace change. You need to learn. Practically, I'll use myself as an example. I am a petroleum engineer who grew up in a regulatory environment and learned about laws. I specialized in reservoir engineering. But whilst I was there, most of my effort and time was supporting local content development. To find an engineer who has that skill set was rare, and I supported the team. That was my way out of hardcore engineering. And from there, I used that to see the opportunities in industry, to then what? Build a business around it. So we first need to be able and willing to learn new skills. So you should be able to learn new skills on your own. Listen to your mentors. If you are given an opportunity, you exhibit it. I'll thank some of my mentors who gave me opportunities and took it up and then developed. My engineering leaders, for example, were not my mentors. It was other people from the soft areas that actually mentored me. So that's one. The second thing I'll leave is, please, in this changing world, you cannot remain on your domain expertise. It is about practical work. It's about doing the job. So whatever you have, you add another skill on it, and then make sure that you work it out. If you remain stable, even the organizations such as SLB, they have moved from an oil servicing company to what? A technology company. How much more who the opportunities are being created for? So we should be very fluid. We should learn as much as we can. And then I'll leave you with these final words from the Nokia CEO. He said what? We did not do anything wrong, but what? We lost. So please, you cannot afford as a young professional to stay put. You need to move with the trend. You need to be updated with technology, embrace it, and then what? Change in the changing landscape. That's my message for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't remain in your comfort zone. The pressure is truly getting worse. Thank you so much. So that's the most we can take from the questions that are here. But we want to open the floor to 2 or 3 persons.
I want to add something to what he said, right? Just to share some statistics from an Ernst & Young report that I read. And in the report, it was stated that out of all the people that were interviewed for that report, AI was considered the most important aspect of digital technology. However, the skill set available today is inadequate, and they do not think that the skill set that will be available in 3 years from now will still be adequate. And it wasn't just in AI, it was in data science, digital design thinking, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and the list was long. What does that tell you? There are opportunities for you to build skills in. That's all. Just wanted to add.
It cannot be overemphasized. Please, Tahir wants to add something very quickly before we go to questions.
One last comment as well, which I tell my son as well, my nephews, is learn numbers for young professionals. You need to know the finance. All this technology, everything will not kick off if it does not make a business sense. So in different regions, North America is doing projects where they are funding themselves, right? The concept, they call it is a carrot, like you store this much turnips a year too, so we'll give you these many dollars. In different parts, they're using stick, right? We're going to penalize you, otherwise do this. But in other regions where they are very ambitious, I'm talking about MENA, for example. So they have money, they have funds, they have ambitions, but they cannot make it work at the moment because they don't know how the whole system is going to be a business, how long it's going to be there for. So gas pricing, overall project costing. So learn math and finance for the overall. Zoom out from what you're doing down the road, not right now. But this is what I would like young professionals to focus on also. Yeah. Thank you.
So, 2 questions. I saw Abina raised her hands earlier. Okay, so take the first question.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abina Yabwa with SB Ghana section. So my question is on 2 things, actually. Inferiority complex and imposter syndrome. So I know YPs are in both categories. So in the category of inferiority complex, we feel we cannot make it. We feel we don't have what it takes to make it. In the category of imposter syndrome, you start a job, you are very excited. After a year or 2, you are like, what have you achieved? What's next? You feel stuck. So I would like to have your personal advice on how to overcome both of these 2 categories. Thank you.
Yes, next question. Before we take on the answers.
Okay, my name is Victory, and SB Ghana student chapter KNUST. My question is, we are told to do what we love in our industry. So we study things and we come out and they're like, what did you like? And they're like, okay, reservoir engineering or completion or something. Then you get into the industry for, let's say, an internship, and they take you around from one point to another, and you realize, you begin to see reality, and you begin to start realizing that what you're meeting, what you like, and what are 2 different things. Please, are you getting my question? What you like and what you are said to be good at are 2 different things. Now, you find that the difficulty is now picking what to do with that.
Passion is, okay, will take you far. So I would say that if you have something that you are passionate about, and that's what you like, however, please listen, there's something called external environmental factors. Nobody has control about those factors. So you need to be able to adapt until a point where you can follow your passion. Okay, that's the question. So in this world, this is more like a practical thing, I'm telling you. Because if they give you a job, show your performance there, but work through till you can follow your passion. In the world we live now, you cannot stick as a, this is what I like, and do that. Then secondly, the inferiority complex syndrome. That I can say that I will task most of our senior folks here that, from example, when we start work, we feel inadequate. So sometimes mentorship helps. One benefit of mentorship is it gives you confidence to be able to to do what you are doing. And then words of affirmation, or when you do the job. So we can be able to help the people that we work with. Because normally, when you start, you do not have confidence in yourself. Mentorship can be very helpful in that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Victory, first of all. Victory, sometimes the reason why you do the work you do, first of all, is to put food on your table. Secondly, to learn something that will help you with what you're passionate about. So I am passionate about talking in front of people. What work taught me was how to be time conscious. So then I picked things from work that I applied to what I'm passionate about. If you begin to see your passion as another vessel or another tool to enjoy the things you want to enjoy, then you don't start to see work as a punishment or different from what you desired to have. So see what you can get from the workshop that they've taken you to and the hammer that they've given you, and see how you can learn those things and apply it to what you are calling passion. And great, that passion how are you also innovating things out of it so that someone who comes out of university next year doesn't say that I'm also passionate about that, but there are no opportunities? So Abena, all I'll say is everybody in this room, including all of, have what you are calling inferiority complex. We don't call it that, we call it anxiety. We're anxious before. Number two, you call it imposter syndrome. It's not. Sometimes, then who? If not you, Abena, then who? Who is better to do it than you? The only reason why you are probably thinking that is because you've noticed some gaps. Build them, fill them up, and go for it. And I think the last thing I'll say is, you are able, we are all able, so don't let those thoughts fester in and kill your confidence. Just build your confidence, go for it, make mistakes, but still win.
Good point. Do you want to add it?
The only thing I'll add to what she said is name your fears. Name it and face it head on. I remember when I just started, my very first boss would always say to me, never put yourself in a box, because once you've done that, it's very difficult for others to see you differently. You will always be in that box. So, again, name your fears, face it head on. If you do a self-assessment and realize that you have some gap, just like she said, make a conscious effort to build the skill and close the gap. And get a mentor. SPE provides an excellent platform for you to learn and engage with senior professionals and people who have done it before, who have gone ahead of you. One thing mentors will do is to help you acknowledge the gaps and point you in the right direction to fill them. They will help you build the confidence that you need. That's all I add. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so 2 cents from my side, one for the student chapter president. As my fellow panelists said, you need bread and butter, right? So you can be all passionate, but if you can't feed yourself and your family, then you have to be realistic as well, right? So do some things for bread and butter, but don't let your passion go. And that's another advice for young professionals. Whether something you're passionate about, either follow that, or as a side hustle even, right? If your contracts and your ethically, if you can do it, if it's not conflicting. So do something you have to do for your bread and butter, but do follow your passion even as a side hustle. So something you're passionate about, go for it. And for Abena's questions, there are so many proverbs and golden sayings, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, all those things. So never ever underestimate yourself. So pick any celebrity or anybody in the world. He's just a human being just like you and me, right? So he doesn't have anything different than what me or you have in your mind or your capabilities. And one thing I noticed in my career as well, so the difference between myself and him or my fellow panelists would be who devotes more time to study. So read about the world, the technologies, so you will learn more and you'll grasp more as well. The third part, I think second part was if you feel yourself stuck in a place. So do quit if you feel yourself you have hit a glass ceiling or you're stuck. If you're not happy, then don't linger on. Now this world is full of possibilities. So, and in what I have noticed, people who have done it, even if you repent later, you would have done it and you would know. By sitting at one place and thinking about like I should do it, traumatic, then trying something, maybe failing at it, and then coming back to some other thing. So follow your heart, follow your passion. And we only have one life, so give it a shot. If it works, amazing. If it doesn't, you have many other options. So good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, let's cheer them up. Thank you very much. So that brings us to the end of this interesting panel session. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for yourselves.
Thank you very much. So we'll take a group photo. Invite John to join the team for the presentation and the picture.
Victory. So one thing I would like to say that is we have been in the industry and we have a lot of experience in few years. We need to act like leading light for the young generation, right? For young generation, always learn from your mistake, but never wait mistake to learn, right? And for senior, take your time to coach. Take your time to empower. Take your time to give opportunity. Accept the mistake of young people, but teach them, coach them, and VC like that will have and will create a strong task force in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Akwaaba to the final showdown of the 2024 SPE Africa Young Professionals Intersection Debate. After several competitive, well-researched, and insightful exchange of ideas, 17 different sections across Africa battled against each other under the theme Innovating the Africa Oil and Gas Industry, Creating Opportunities for Young Professionals in the Changing Energy Landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Engineer Daniel Akrofi Odey. I'm a cost engineer at the Petroleum Commission, and I'm thrilled to be the chair for today. In every debate, today's debate, we are honored to have 4 highly esteemed judges. And in no particular order, our first judge will be Engineer Elizabeth Rogo. She's the founder and CEO of Chova Oilfield Services. Let's give her a round of applause. Savo. Thank you very much. Now, our next judge is Dr. Yen Adams Sokama Nyoyam. He's the head of department for the petroleum engineering at KNUST. Let's give him a round of applause. Our next judge for today is Ola Davies. He's the SPE Regional Activities Manager for Europe and Africa. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And our final judge for today is Dr. Victor Epignon. He's the founder or CEO of Kenyon International West Africa Limited. Let's give him a round of applause. Dr. Victor, this is Dr. Victor here. Please join us here. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in every competition, there are rules and guidelines that govern it. And it's worthy to note that the rules and guidelines that have governed the previous competition, they have not changed. We have a team for the motion and a team against the motion. Each team will have 3 speakers. First speaker for and against the motion. Second speaker for and against the motion. Third speaker for and against the motion. Now, after a speaker finishes establishing their point, 45 seconds will be allowed for cross-examination by the opponent, and 45 seconds will be allowed to give a reply to the opponent. If after the first 10 seconds, no question has been asked, then we'll quickly move on to the next team, to the next speaker. Now, all questions must be concise and precise. Now, after all the speakers have established their points, we would give the judges the opportunity to ask them questions. And each team has just 4 questions. The judges will have 4 questions maximum to a team. So after the questions and answers from the judges will then, break out and then put together their scores. When the judges finish with putting down together their scores, they will come back and then they will give feedback as to how each team handled the motion. All participants must adhere to the rules of fair play and sportsmanship. Personal attacks and derogatory remarks are not permitted. Any breach of conduct could result in points being deducted or even a disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our speakers. Today, we will just witness the intellectual battle between 2 teams, and they are SPE Ghana and SPE Lagos of Nigeria. So SPE Ghana first. Where are the speakers? Can you kindly come forward? SPE Ghana. Let's give them a round of applause. SPE Ghana. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Okay. So SPE Ghana, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations for reaching the final.
Most grateful.
Kindly tell us your name, your role, and your profession. Quickly.
Right. So I am Leo Ando Ejejima. I'm representing SPE Ghana as the principal speaker. I work with the legal department of Ghana National Gas Limited Company. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. My name is Rachel Irabo. I'm the second speaker for SPE Ghana, and I'm a data analyst, a freelance data analyst. Thank you.
I am Judah Mubuasin. I work with Vivo Energy as a renewables expert. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's ready to know that they are the reigning champions. Ladies and gentlemen, the second team for today is SPE Lagos of Nigeria. Shall we give them a round of applause? SPE Lagos of Nigeria, kindly walk forward. Please, let's give them a round of applause till they are seated. SPE Lagos, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations on reaching the finals. Now quickly, tell us your name, your role, and what you do.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Ifeoluwa Moshoweni. I'm a freelance data analyst as well, and I'm the chief speaker for SPE Lagos section. I'm glad to be here.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Miss Judith Ugu Kosisochukwu. I'm the second speaker for SPE Lagos section. I'm an IT robotics with First Bank. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Tokwe Folorunso, and I'm the third speaker for SPE Lagos section. And I work at the Gas and Power Department at Matrix Energy. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, XP in Lagos. Now to the reason why we are here. The motion on the floor is cyber attacks on the infrastructure of oil and gas companies across Africa are likely to increase significantly with the integration of emerging technologies and tools. Before I invite our first speaker for today, when you're about to make your point, you walk to the front and then you speak so that our judges can see you. Okay, so you walk upstage with your microphone. Okay, so for today, SPE Ghana will be against the motion, and SPE Lagos of Nigeria will be for the motion. Inviting our first speaker for today from SPE Ghana. SPE Ghana, first speaker for SPE Ghana. Come again. Okay, sorry. So we'll invite our first speaker from SPE Lagos. Can you please walk upstage? Walk over there with the mic, with the microphone. So remember that you have just 45 seconds, 5 minutes. You have just 5 minutes. Your time starts now.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's an adage that speaks to the dangers of knowing and yet not mitigating the occurrence of risk. And with the ever-increasing rate of cyber attacks, along with the creation of emerging technologies, there's a great need to be cyber aware. Ladies and gentlemen, my amazing judges and my co-debaters, it must interest you for you to say something that cyber attacks will continually increase. without this integration of emerging technologies, I consider that a misguided fallacy, and I tell you why. The oil and gas industry is an ever-revolving one, constantly adopting new technologies like AI, helping in decision-making, IoT, helping in production, and many more. Yes, the benefits are undeniable, but must understand the dual nature of these technologies and the adverse effect on oil and gas infrastructure. We're talking about an industry that uses billions of data for reservoir simulation. An industry that stores, transmits, and generates petabytes of field data. An industry that performs drilling operations and other kind of operations that are automated and connected to the internet, which is a major vulnerability space for cyber attack. May I shock you? From Cyber Security Magazine, it showed that 70% of oil and gas companies suffer data breach within the past 12 months, very recent. According to Info Security Magazine, 90% of oil and gas industry gather dark web intelligence to protect their company from cyber attack because they fear these attacks will break down their infrastructure. Additionally, the oil and gas industry averaged 6 days to system outages due to cyber attacks. Now, the next few points I'm going to mention are going to open to your understanding why these cyber attacks will keep on increasing with integration of these upcoming technologies. My very first point is data proliferation, and I'll build my case study with the cyber attack on Saudi Aramco and the Rush gas in Saudi Arabia. Data proliferation, we're in a technology age where there's something called an explosion of data. So that is, as data increases and data expands, there's a greater incentive for cyber attack. We're talking about attackers that want to steal your data, manipulate your data, even ransom your data. Let's go to August 2017, where there was a state-led attack by Iran on the Saudi Aramco infrastructure. They led the Shampoo Viper, which is a malware that shut down and collected 30,000 computer systems. Or this Saudi Aramco that used the Triton controller, Triton malware, on the Triconex facility. It only shut down their facility. It controlled their systems. They lost 50% of their daily production output. Now, let's talk about the second point, weak security practices. I want everybody to understand something. Rapid adoption of technology often outpaces robust security systems. I'll take that again. Rapid adoption of technology often outpaces robust security system. A research was done by Ernst & Young, and they showed that despite an increase in these emerging technologies, a lot of companies were reported to have security practices that are at least 10 decades behind. What does this speak to here? A skill gap. Now, my very first point is automation of attack. What technology has given everybody here is what? Speed and ease. And let me tell you something, the attackers are not left behind. They also have speed and ease. One attack can have a ripple effect on thousands of operations. And I'll build my case study on the 2020 Mauritius oil spill, where a Japanese-led company got shipwrecked and lost millions of oil in the Marine Sea. It was said that they were attacked by cyber criminals because they affected the navigation chart that made the ship go off course. You may ask a question, why aren't the guys at base alerted? Why didn't they know there was a change of course? Because this attack, and I'll quote them verbatim, according to International Maritime Association, they said, our system was sabotaged, so we could not detect any trace of attack, so we couldn't know what to do. Now, I'll mention something that I want everyone to please pay attention to, which is the oil and gas IQ report in 2020. And it goes as follows. I didn't say this. Despite an increase in investment, the oil and gas industry still suffers severe cybersecurity challenges. Now, here's the eye-opener. The reason the oil and gas industry is in the state it is as a recent foray into technologies like the Internet of Things and increased connectivity. My fellow Africans, I have shared with you stories, I have shared with you case studies within and outside Africa, and you can see clearly my passion for this topic. We have a great responsibility here to manage the cyber infrastructure of our African oil and gas industry, something we have built for decades ago. As one of my mentors once said, when you adopt a technology, get ready to adopt its risk. Technology has its pros and cons, but we're talking about the oil and gas industry here, something that is serving major nations of the world. And with these lessons of mine, we have had an understanding, and we know that definitely cyber attacks will continually be on the increase and significantly increase with the rate of emerging technologies, particularly if we don't acknowledge them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First speaker for Lagos, Nigeria. And now we move on to first speaker for Ghana, SPE Ghana. First speaker for SPE Ghana. Let's give it a round of applause. So, first speaker, your time starts now.
If you spend more on coffee than on IT security, you'll be hacked. What is more, you deserve to be hacked. These are the words of Richard Clark, the former U.S. National Coordinator for Security, Infrastructure Protection, and Counterterrorism. The chair, distinguished guests, panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Leoando Ejejima, and I represent SPE Ghana Session as the principal speaker, strongly challenging the motions of pessimistic objection to the future of the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of the industry, my argument will unfold under 3 distinct thematic areas. The first thematic area is on cybersecurity investment and trends. Ladies and gentlemen, oil and gas companies across the globe are investing heavily in cybersecurity, and this is with the aim of offering strong cybersecurity defenses. In Africa, it is projected that by 2025, investment in cybersecurity will hit about 2.7 billion, with US hitting 18 billion by 2025, and this is reported by a study conducted in 2023 by Frost and Sullivan. Again, ExxonMobil has invested heavily in the area of blockchain technology, and this is to secure its supply chain. This has had a resultant effect of a 30% decrease in cyber attack incidents. Ladies and gentlemen, the case is not different for Chevron. Chevron has also invested in AI threat detection systems across its global operations, and this has also achieved a similar outcome. These investments, the heavy industrial area of the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the second thematic area to be addressed in my submission is on the usefulness and impact of cybersecurity and these emerging technologies and tools. Contrary to the argument by my opponent, the truth is that these emerging technologies and tools are rather helping the industries within the African enclave to rather ensure that cybersecurity is protected, is minimized. On this point, I cite the example of Total Energies, where the Total Energies adopted an AI detection in its refinery, and this led to a 50% improvement in its operations. The third and the last thematic area to be addressed, which forms the anchor of being put in place by various countries within the continent to ensure that cybersecurity and its risks are mitigated. Again, on the front of workforce development, it's important I stress this fact that whether we live here affirming the motion or rejecting the motion, cyber attacks will not cease. If they will not cease, then we have to embrace the future. The future is that these emerging tools and technologies are not the ones that are causing, are not the ones that should be held to be accountable for this future or anticipated incidents. I say so because according to Heraclitus, the philosopher, he said something very interesting. He says that no person crosses the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he is not the same man. This goes to ensure or prove the very fundamental point that change is the only constant in nature. So it's either we live here affirming the motion and then throwing our hands in despair and overlooking and denying ourselves of the enormous benefits that come with the integration of these tools. Ladies and gentlemen, panel of judges, the chair, I urge you all to vote against the motion. For a vote against the motion is a vote in recognition of the proactive steps that the industry is taking regarding cybersecurity challenges. Again, if we fail to vote against this motion, what we risk doing is that we now deny not only the current generation, but the future generation of the enormous benefits that come with the integration of these tools. Again, workforce development, I end, is the most important thing. We need to train the people. Most of these attacks have a human element or a human face to it. And so once we train these people, they are able to use these technologies and tools to our benefit, not just for the benefit of the industry, but for the benefit of humanity as a whole. Thank you very much.
Now, thank you very much, SPE Ghana. Thank you very much. Thank you. So now would give SPE Ghana the opportunity to cross-examine the first speaker of SPE Lagos. We will give 45 seconds for cross-examination. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, so 45 seconds.
Okay, so how does the first speaker for SPE Lagos reconcile the fact that, notwithstanding these threats he talks about, all these leading giants within the industry who have faced this threat have not abandoned completely these emerging tools and technologies. They have rather gone ahead to put in place structures to make sure that the associated risks are mitigated. And so if these structures are put in place, how then does he say that it will rather lead to an increase in these cyber attacks on the infrastructure?
Okay. SPE Lagos. Yes. You have 45 seconds to give her feedback. Come again? Yes. Cross-examination.
Okay, so I think you need to understand something. You're missing the question here. We're talking about integration of technology, and it said increase significantly. Yes, we will use technology. I'm a fan of technology, but increase significantly is the focus here. And I'll give you various examples. We talked about ExxonMobil. My partner is going to come and give case stories of how these things have increased. Cyber attacks is not just about investment. Cyber attacks, the cybersecurity thing is not a one-size-fits-all thing. It will keep on occurring and occurring and occurring. So understand that the subject here is increased significantly. And you said mitigate. Mitigate means what? To make less severe, according to Oxford Dictionary. So that means there's already a significant increase. So that means what you are saying, you're even shooting yourself in the leg. So I think you need to understand the narrative and drive back to the topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SPE Lagos. Now, thank you. So now, SPE Lagos, we also give you 45 seconds to cross-examine the first speaker of SPE Ghana. 45 seconds.
Okay, first let me appreciate the first speaker for proving our point for us. Now, increased investment in mitigating cyber threats only admits that these cyber attacks are imminently increasing, right? So how do you speak to the fact that ExxonMobil are deploying blockchain and they are still spending money to mitigate cyber attacks from happening, right? Because you are also proving that these cyber attacks are coming and they are going to increase.
So our assertion is that the cyber attacks are not from the technology, but from the users of the technology. That is why we stress the essence of training. Because if you receive an email and you're unable to detect whether it's a phishing email or not, you expose your institution. That is why the issue of training is very paramount.
All right, thank you very much, SPE Ghana. So now we move on to the second speaker, starting with SPE Lagos. Second speaker for SPE Lagos. Yes, you have 3 minutes to establish your point. Your time starts now.
Good day, panel of judges, micro-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. According to Cyber Incidents and Trends reports by Internet Society, in 2018, the ENI Ghana subsidiary faced a cyber attack, losing over 2 million Ghana cedis. Also, ExxonMobil in 2019-2020 faced a Raoul ransomware attack, losing over $1.6 million in Bitcoin. And my opponent seated here still doesn't believe there's an increase in cyber attack. It only seeks to beg the question, are you cyber secured? Without further ado, I would like us to dive into my points. Firstly, increased connectivity, which is the hallmark of industrial Internet of Things. Now, how does this work? IoT and sensors create a vast network of connected systems. When these systems are connected over the internet, they get to talk to each other and share information. What is the implication? When there's a breach of access in one, it leads to the easy breach of access in another system, thereby leaving these systems vulnerable to attack. A very good example is the US ransom attack on the Colonial Pipeline in 2021, where they lost over 100 gigabytes of data, billables, and accounting. Bringing it down to Africa, in 2018, NAPC lost over $1.3 million of financial data due to these same cyber attacks. To think that they still do not believe, Also, for us to talk about cyber security is because there's a concept of cyber attack. You create antivirus to fight the virus. You increase your antivirus version because the virus is increasing. If there's no virus, there's no antivirus. Cisco has that there are over 50 different types of cyber attack, and it keeps emerging. And they still do not want to accept that it's still increasing. Also, human error. Like it or not, whether it's the cyber attack, whether it's the human error, anything that leads to cyber attack is cyber attack. Humans are bound to make mistakes. They are bound to fall to tactics of social engineering, AI. We all know of the $25.6 million that was lost in Hong Kong as a result of what? AI cloning and deepfake. it is increasing. Are these risks being mitigated? Yes, they are being mitigated. But does it reduce the fact that this cyber attack keeps happening? No, it doesn't. Finally,